Hey Dan, I just wanted to let you know that I got back home. Ah, man, it really is just so nice to finally be back into our own home. It was so hard being away for the past month.
Welcome back, Tracy. I'm so happy that you made it back okay. This is great news.
Yes, it is so nice to finally be back here. And in case you were wondering, it was my mom who picked me up at the airport and dropped me off. What about you, Dan? Are you still at work right now? You must be getting off soonish, though, right?
Yeah, I'm at work, but it'll be fine. I'm almost out of here and then I'm finally home free. How's the kid, by the way?
The kid? Come on now, Dan. We should at least call our daughter Katie by her name.
Oh, right. I suppose that you've got a point. It's just that we hadn't landed on a name for a while, so I always just got used to calling her the kid. But how is Katie doing? Is she doing alright? Did you two get along okay?
Oh no, she was just horrible in the car, to be honest. She was screaming and yelling and crying. And then the moment that we arrived back home, she fell fast asleep and has been like that since.
I see. Well, you should make sure and tell her that this is her house from now on. Not that a little baby would understand what any of that means.
I think that maybe she must know it's her house too now, with how quickly she fell asleep. Although, I should warn you that this is just the calm before the storm. I'm sure she's going to get up and start crying soon enough.
Wow, that's a pretty strong statement coming from you. I mean, does she really cry all that much? Is it really that bad?
Let's just say that the doctors told me it seemed like she had a good pair of lungs on her. They said that it must mean her dad has the same thing. Were you ever a good swimmer when you were younger?
Interesting theory by the good doctors. But it was nice going back home and being with your parents for a while. It had been some time since you last saw them, right?
Yeah, it was actually really nice getting to go out there and see them. And my parents took such good care of me since they knew that I was there just to give birth. So I'll admit, I just let myself be spoiled in the final month of my pregnancy, but I wasn't taking advantage of my parents or anything like that. I was just already so tired all of the time, and I could hardly do anything at all but lie down to rest.
Well, I'm just glad that you were able to get that rest and have Katie safe and sound. Are you still in discomfort now, or is your body settled back down?
No, nothing really hurts right now. Although for a while after giving birth, I couldn't really walk at all.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that I'll never have to go through that. You really are something else for pushing a whole human out of you, you know? But I just want to say how proud I am of you. You did so well with all this, and now you're literally in the house with the proof of that.
Well, I'm just so happy that I could count on you to watch the house while I was out. I mean, I know that being all by yourself for the past month couldn't have been easy, especially since you barely know how to keep the place running. But I just want you to know that I really appreciate all that you do, and I'm so grateful to have been able to see my parents.
I won't lie to you. It was really hard at first. And the house was a complete mess until a couple days before you arrived.
Well, I won't say that I didn't have a sneaking suspicion, but I guess I'm just glad that you cleaned up just for me.
Of course! I knew that you weren't going to be happy walking into the bomb site that I had left it as.
Right, I mean, actually, now that I'm looking around, it kind of seems like you just shoved a lot of stuff out of the way to make it look clean.
Well, then I should also tell you that I didn't have a chance to really sweep or mop the floors at all either. But I'm sure it's only a matter of time before you figure that out as well.
Well, on the bright side, there's no trash everywhere, so I guess you did good on that front.
I really did want to try doing this better, but I just couldn't figure it all out. I even tried cooking for myself a couple of times, and it was just horrible.
So then, what did you end up eating the whole time that I was away?
Well, I just ate out a lot. I would order takeout, or I would get pre-made meals from the grocery store or something like that. So I haven't exactly been healthy while you've been away either.
Oh, wow. Well, are you okay after all of that? I mean, do you feel okay physically after eating like that for a month?
Well, by the end, I had run through so much money eating out that I was basically only having cup ramen for dinner. Of course, I know that I wasn't eating healthy or anything like that, but... Well, as the house just got dirtier and dirtier and surfaces got messier and messier, I kind of just lost the will to do anything for myself.
Well, don't worry. I'm going to try and give a second pass at getting this house in order. I'm also going to take some healthy food out so that I can give you a hearty dinner. This little kid's diet of yours is over.
Oh, thank you so much. You don't know how happy it makes me to get a message like that. I was counting down the days before you were finally going to arrive. What can I say? I guess I really just don't know how to live at all without you. I'm just a wreck when I'm asked to live by myself.
I really don't think that you need to go so far as to say anything like that, you know. That's a bit of a stretch, don't you think?
Of course it's not a stretch. I really mean it. If I'm going to live a normal life, I really don't see how I'd be able to do it without you there to take care of me. So, please don't ever leave the house that long again. It was just so difficult to be away from you for that long.
Well, I didn't really have a choice in the matter now, did I? But anyways, I'm back now and not planning on going anywhere soon. But of course now we're going to have to be paying a lot more attention to our baby daughter. So I think you might just have to learn how to take care of yourself a bit.
You're right about that. I do need to learn how to provide more for myself. Well, I promise that I'll do my best at least.
And I suppose at the end of the day, that's really all that I can ask of you, right? Anyways, I guess I'll see you at home tonight.
Hey there, Tracy. How's the kid doing? Is everything going well at home with you two?
Wait, what? What do you mean? Is there anything that should be going wrong? That's kind of a weird question to ask.
Well, I was just wondering if you think something is up with the kid since she's just crying all the time. I mean, I know that babies just cry a lot in general, but when is all this finally gonna stop?
Well, this is the first child that either of us are having, so I don't really know what the protocol is for all the crying. But I don't really think that it means there's anything wrong with the baby at all. And besides, all kids are different. So I don't really think that you need to be concerned that there's anything particularly wrong with our kid, you know?
Are you sure about that? Because I feel like there's gotta be something wrong with just how much she's crying. Either way, it's keeping me up and making me lose sleep.
Oh, well, I am really sorry to hear about that, Dan. I know that Katie was really loud last night.
But it wasn't just being loud. I mean, she was screaming and crying so much that I really couldn't even get an hour of sleep. Not only that, but her screams are still ringing in my head even now, and have been giving me a headache all day.
Well, maybe we could try and think of a way that we could get her to cry less. I mean, I'm always checking her diaper to make sure she hasn't made a mess, and try to keep her on a regular feeding schedule. I'm doing everything that the books and guides and everything out there say, but she just won't go to sleep.
Well, think about how I feel. You know that I'm a light sleeper, and now I'm not able to get any rest for myself at all. I mean, you know that even the slightest sound at night is enough to make me wake up. So just how do you think I'm feeling about having a crying baby screaming in the house all the time?
I know that things are hard right now, but maybe we might want to try sleeping in different rooms for the time being. I'll take Katie, and her and I can sleep on the pull-out couch so that you can catch up on some sleep.
Oh no, that isn't nearly going to be enough. If that girl starts screaming at night again, then I want you to take her and walk around with her outside. I know that her cries are going to be enough for me to hear them in the bedroom all the way from the living room. I mean, that baby really knows how to cry.
So, you want me to take Katie and just walk around outside the house at night? I really don't know about that, Dan. I mean, it's already winter and the nights get pretty cold here. I would hate to expose Katie to anything that might get her sick as well, you know? Even a cold is nasty for a little baby.
Well, then just make sure that you're both bundled up before you take her out to finish all that crying. Because if I don't start getting more sleep, I'm really going to start falling apart at the seams. And when I start to miss my sleep, I start to make mistakes at work too, you know? It's all connected and it's all bad.
Okay, I get it. If Katie starts crying again in the night, I'll be sure to walk around with her a little at night.
Good. You better do that because I can't stand how loud that kid can be. But I'm still not convinced that it's normal for a kid to be crying as much as she is. Are you sure that we shouldn't get her checked out by a doctor or something like that? There might be something wrong with her.
Okay, we can take her to a doctor if you're really concerned, but just please don't mention anything about it to my parents. I mean, even I don't think it's really worth taking her to the doctor over, but if you want, we can.
I get that you don't think it's worth it, but I am telling you that that baby is crying way more than should be normal, and we need to find a way to put it to an end. And it's clear that you either lack the skills or the patience to be able to figure out what will work for this child.
Dan, I don't know if that's really fair. You know how hard I'm working with all of this. I mean, you don't think you're the only one losing sleep because of Katie, right?
That's not a fair comparison. You're just a housewife who can nap during the day if she gets sleepy. I don't have that luxury because I work a little thing called a job. Do you have any idea what kind of trouble I would get in at work if I got caught just taking a nap on the job? There's no way that that would ever fly at my company.
I know that you can't just take a nap at your work or anything like that, but I think that you think I have it way easier than I really do. I mean, ever since coming back from my parents' house with the baby, I don't think that I've been able to get more than 3 hours of sleep on any given night.
Well, it's not like you even do anything when you have to leave the house, so that much sleep should be plenty for you already. Honestly, why are you trying to compare yourself to me? You know that I work so much harder than you do to support us, don't you?
I'm not trying to say that what we do is the same. If anything, I'm trying to say that it's different, so we shouldn't be comparing.
That's right. Because if you think for a second that anything you do compares to what I do at all, then you're just dead wrong and there's nothing else to say about it. But anyways, can you at least promise me that you'll try and think of a way to make the baby stop crying all the time? I mean, really, we live in the internet age. This shouldn't be this difficult, you know? You really have to get your act together.
Hey! What the heck is the matter with you? Why did you just dump water on me? I mean, really? Just what were you thinking? If you wanted me to leave the house, you could have just said so.
Oh, come on. You should know that you're in the wrong with this, right? I mean, really. It's all your fault for not knowing how to deal with that kid.
But, I mean, I don't get it. I was fast asleep, and then you just dumped a bucket of water on me.
Well, I had to do something about you. You know, thanks to you, I'm also losing sleep. So try thinking about that for once.
But you didn't just get me with the water. You got Katie as well. She had finally just gotten to sleep, too.
Well, she should have already stopped crying. I wanted you to stop her before I even got back home from work. Because I can't stand having to hear that baby cry. I mean, really. I'm just getting no sleep at all at this point. If you can't take care of the house while I'm out, the least you can do is handle the baby.
Please, Dan. I know that you think I do nothing but rest and take it easy while you're out of the house, but it just isn't true. Besides, did you really not see me holding on to Katie when you dumped all of that water on us? And why did you even do that in the first place? Were you really still that mad by the time you got home?
Of course I was. You're ruining my sleep schedule with all that crap that you keep putting me through. Do you know that?
Dan, I am sorry, but it has been a while now, and I've seen you get at least 6 hours of sleep basically every night. So I think that if I want to lie down, even for a minute, with a sleeping baby, then there's no need to get so upset.
I can't believe that you're actually trying to defend your actions to me right now. I mean, really, this just proves that you take naps all the time while I'm out at work. You just relax all that you want and don't think about me at all. That's why I got so mad, and that's why I dumped water on you.
I really just can't believe what I'm hearing right now. I want you to know that I am always trying so hard. I try hard to take care of the house, and I try hard with our daughter. I just needed a little rest is all.
There you go again, thinking that everyone should have to wait on whatever it is that you want to do. You really just are pathetic. Do you know that?
Dan, I don't know what's gotten into you, but it feels like you've gotten so much meaner lately. I mean, I'm sorry that I can't stop Katie from crying on demand, but I don't see why that's my fault. This kind of thing is just what babies do. I couldn't control it even if I wanted to, but I'm trying to my best all of the time.
Ha! Is that really what you're trying to call your best? You've got to be kidding me if you think that's going to fly with me. Ever since you came home with that kid, all I've heard is crying and whining, and I'm not talking about the baby, let me tell you that much. You really need to open your eyes and realize that I'm the victim here and you're not. And if you're going to act like this, then you should have never come home with that little brat. You should have just stayed at your parents'.
Are you being serious? I thought you were looking forward to me bringing home our daughter.
Yes, at the time I really was excited and happy to get to see you both. I thought that we'd finally be a complete family like I'd always dreamed. But I didn't expect your coming home to turn into the mess that it's been up to until now. Now I want nothing more than to be alone. So, I'm sorry, but as a wife and a mother, you're a failure. Do you understand me?
I don't even know what to say to that right now. I'm speechless.
Well, there's nothing more to say about it since I'm telling you the truth. And the fact of the matter is that I can't tell who is the bigger baby here. You, or the actual newborn literal baby. So, how about you just do us all a favor and just grow up and act like an adult now, okay? Because you need to quit thinking that you can just take it easy all the time. If you're tired, then think about me, who is hardly getting the kind of sleep that I should be getting.
Of course. Okay then. I think I understand what I have to do now. Thank you for making your feelings clear to me. I'm going to work hard to make sure that I can finally get some peace and quiet around here.
Hey, did the little brat finally quiet down? Because if she's still crying, then I don't want you to come back at all. I mean it. You better make that kid stop crying before you even think about coming back home.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that anymore now, Dan. I'm not going to be coming home anytime soon now. So don't worry, you'll never have to deal with our poor crying daughter ever again.
What is that supposed to mean? What do you mean you're not coming home anytime soon? Have you still not figured out how to make that kid quit crying?
No, it's nothing like that at all. In fact, if you really want to know, Katie isn't even crying right now.
Then what are you trying to tell me right now? I still don't quite get what it is that you're trying to tell me through all of this. What do you mean you won't be coming home? Why wouldn't you come home if you finally managed to get her to stop crying?
Oh, don't worry. I'm certainly not going to do anything overdramatic, but I am going to make sure that our daughter doesn't cry around you ever again. And I'm going to do that by making sure that neither her nor I go back home to you ever again.
I still have no idea what it is that you're trying to tell me. What do you mean you're not going to be coming back here? If you're not going to come back, then where are you going to live?
I'm going to go and stay with my parents for the time being. And I'm going to be taking Katie with me.
You really have some nerve. Do you know that? I mean, really? Are you actually telling me that you're going to move out and go live with your parents?
Well, I think that it would be a lot better than spending another day in this house with you. That's why I would literally rather go and move in with my parents than stay in this house with you.
Oh, come on, Tracy. Just give this a rest already. Do you really think you're fooling anyone at all with this? You think that you'll ever find anyone after me?
I don't know what you want me to say, Dan. You were the one saying that you don't want me at home as long as Katie is crying. So if you want that to happen, then that means that I'll be out of the house until then. I mean, you told me you couldn't even stand us all being in the same house when the crying started. So this just seems like the most simple way to go about doing things. What would you suggest?
What do you mean? You think I would suggest that you move out?
Well, what else could I do? I mean, really, What am I supposed to do if you don't want me in the house when the baby is crying?
I just want you to try and find a way to make the baby stop crying. That's all I was asking you to do over and over again. You can't just run away from me.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're the one that's running away by avoiding your responsibilities like this.
That doesn't make any sense at all. I'm sorry, but if you can't settle down and start speaking in a way that makes sense, I just can't have this conversation with you.
Dan, just what do you think it means to be a father? To have a child, huh? I mean, do you think that you can just talk to the baby and ask it to stop crying or something like that? Since you keep bringing it up, I really want to know what brilliant suggestion you might have for me when it comes to stopping the crying. In fact, do me one better and just show me how easy it is to stop Katie crying by doing it yourself. What about that?
Now, let's set one thing straight here. You are the baby's mother, and that means that it's your job to deal with all that stuff. And if you can't figure out how to make a baby stop crying, then that is entirely on you.
You're the one who keeps talking as if it's supposed to be something so easy to do. But if the mother is supposed to do all that, what good is the father for?
The men and the women just do different things in the family. Is that really so hard to figure out? Why do I have to explain this to you?
Well, I don't think that is fair at all. We are parents, and we need to be splitting up our responsibilities better.
No, that just won't work. There's an order to this thing. And everyone knows that it's the mom's job to be taking care of the kids.
I really think that you're just choosing that because it's what is most convenient for you. I mean, do you really think that a father has no role in parenting his children at all? Because my dad was actually really great at getting me and my sibling to stop crying, and he didn't complain once about it.
Well, then it sounds like your dad is the exception. But that doesn't mean that he's the rule. Plenty of men still prefer to leave it all to the women.
Oh, I am sure that they do prefer to treat their families that way. But as far as I'm concerned, you're the failure, both as a husband and as a father. I mean, really, do you not care about anyone but yourself? You put me through so much, hurled abusive language my way, dumped water on me and our daughter, and then forced us out to find another place to live.
Okay, hold on a second. Sure, I might have dumped water on you and the kid, but you were the one who decided to leave and take the kid with you. And now you're gonna pay for it?
Well, great. That's all the motivation I needed not to live with you any longer and to stay with my parents.
Oh, please. You think that you've won? I know that you're gonna come crying back to me any day now. You think that you've got me cornered and scared with this little act of yours? Fat chance. I won't let you beat me. You'll pay for this. You'll be back and then I'll set you straight. Just you wait.
I was done talking to Dan at that point. I knew that the conversation was going nowhere and that no real communication was going to happen anytime soon. So instead, I blocked his number and I hired a lawyer. The day after my lawyer sent Dan his notice of my intent to divorce him, as well as the lawsuit for his abusiveness, he showed up at my parents' place begging for forgiveness. He told me that he thought about his actions and realized that what he did was wrong, but neither myself nor any of my family there wanted to hear a word of it. In the end, I took Dan to court and we got our divorce done the hard way. Of course, I ended up with custody over Katie, and Dan was made to pay child support until she turns 18. After that, I heard through the grapevine that Dan's life really started to fall apart. Unable to take care of himself or do the most basic of chores, he began getting complaints from his boss about his personal hygiene and appearance at work. Whether it was Dan's ineptitude or depression from the divorce, Dan didn't do anything to change his ways and soon simply stopped showing up for work altogether. Now I hear he lives in a tiny apartment doing odd jobs to make ends meet. I found my way back on my feet while at my parents' house, and now Katie and I live nearby while I work my new job and my parents watch over her. I know that being a single mother won't be easy, but at least I'm with people who love me and will support me.